Good evening from New York. A very happy new year. I'm Chris Hayes, and we have new government documents tonight that give us more information about just how directly involved the president was in what was likely an unlawful, illegal withholding of military funds to Ukraine. Of course, that's at the center of the impeachment that looms over the president. The documents are the heart of why he is being impeached. And these documents are super incriminating on both the merits and also for what they show about the cover-up, because they show new evidence of a cover-up that was actively occurring as recently as 2 weeks ago. We have these documents because Just Security, a blog associated with NYU Law School, viewed unredacted copies of emails that had just been redacted and released before Christmas. I should tell you, NBC News has not independently verified those emails. Three things, though, stand out to me. One, it appears the emails were redacted not for some national security reasons, but clearly as part of an effort to cover their tracks and cover it all up. Two, the emails are damning, showing the president personally directed the hold on the funds. And the people who were carrying out this scheme, President Trump and his inner circle, knew it was sketchy and illegal. They did not tell the truth to other people in the government. They did not give explicit reasons. They hid the ball. They did not tell the public. They did not tell Congress. Now, after they've been caught, Trump and his allies have been trying this audacious line of defense. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. The Ukraine call was perfect. That is not how they have been behaving up to and including right now. They are still stopping Congress and the American public from reading other documents and from hearing other witnesses. And the reason they're doing that is because they know it was wrong. And then they got caught. And the third thing that we're learning from these documents, this is something that we here on the show have been banging on about. The hold on the funds, the military aid to Ukraine passed by Congress, the hold on that money does not appear to be lawful. The people inside the Department of Defense, the lawyers charged with dotting the I's, crossing the T's, they had a very important legal task, which is to make sure not to break the law. Something lawyers tend to care about, the president less so. The emails viewed by Just Security show that people in the DOD raised red flag after red flag to the Office of Management and Budget, which is the office tasked with executing Trump's hold on the aid, because the folks at the Pentagon were worried that by executing the hold, by not giving the funds to Ukraine, even though they've been passed by Congress, signed by the president, that the Pentagon ran the risk of breaking the law, breaking something called the Impoundment Control Act. A fun fact about that law, it was passed in 1974 in the wake of Richard Nixon's presidency. A guy most known, of course, for resigning due to the Watergate scandal and being an absolute omnidirectional criminal. And during his presidency, one of Nixon's go-to moves was to just not spend money allocated by Congress because of his own petty political feuds. So Congress had to step in and reaffirm the constitutional imperative that indeed Congress is the power of the purse and that appropriations be spent as intended. That's what the law says. It's what the Constitution says. In fact, thanks to the Just Security report, we learned that DOD officials were so aware of this law that the Deputy Defense Secretary prepared a draft letter to the acting director of OMB saying, quote, "We have repeatedly advised OMB officials that pauses beyond August 19th, 2019 jeopardize the department's ability to obligate Ukraine aid funding prudently and fully consistent with the Impoundment Control Act." Or, when you decode it in non-bureaucratese, what you're doing is illegal and we don't endorse it. Then, when the Ukraine aid freeze was publicly reported at the end of August, the OMB General Counsel sent around talking points saying, quote, "No action has been taken by OMB that would preclude the obligation of these funds before the end of the fiscal year." The acting Pentagon controller, a woman named Elaine Muscusker, responded, quote, "I do not agree to the revised talking points." In other words, that's BS. The last one is just not accurate from a financial execution standpoint, something we have been consistently conveying for a few weeks. In other words, your talking points are a lie. We know they're a lie, and we've been telling you that for a few weeks, and now you're trying to lie back to us? For some reason, her response, which does not seem like a revelation of classified information or a security compromise, that response was redacted in a document released last month. Interesting. But perhaps the most damning evidence about President Trump's coordination of the freeze came at the end of August. After a meeting between Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, and President Trump, that meeting that we just learned about last week, the political appointee coordinating the aid for OMB told the DOD controller, quote, "Clear direction for the President of the United States to hold." President Trump says to hold the aid. So now here we are. Speaker Nancy Pelosi has held back turning over the articles of impeachment in the Senate. In the interim, we have learned more and more incriminating information about the president and his inner circle, thanks to some incredibly good reporting. Last week, Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski Alaska said she was disturbed by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's statements that he was coordinating the trial with the Trump White House. Just 2 days ago, Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine, who happens to be up for re-election this year, said she would be open to calling witnesses at the Senate trial. So now the question is, as damning reports like this continue to trickle out, will the Senate Republicans plunge ahead with the cover-up or not?